Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Orange County Funding Corporation. Also, we refer to it as OCFC. We're going to have a meeting tonight. It's August 16th, 2023 at 5:32 p.m. and we are at the Government Center in Goshen, New York. To call the meeting to order and do a pledge of allegiance, please.
Right, flight outside here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Dean Tamburi.
Present.
James Rinaldi.
Present.
Mark Green.
Present.
Dr. Vincent Oda.
Present.
Susan Walski.
Present.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
All 6 members are present. As far as IDA staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Marty Boras, our general counsel, Susan Katzoff. As I mentioned, acquisition marketing, Mr. Jose Rojas is here with us. And we also have 2 guests representing our applicants, Mr. Sheldon Ginsberg from Royal Wine Company and Mr. Chet Patel for representing OC Hospitality.
Okay. Thank you. Very good. The proof of notice, the notice of the meeting was duly and properly provided. We have that. The minutes approval, looking for a motion for approval of the minutes from June 21st, 2023 of the previous meeting. There wasn't a meeting no meeting in July.
I'll approve, motion to approve the minutes from June 21st, 2023.
Thank you, Sue.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Wodak. We'll do roll call. No, this is all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Committee reports for the Finance Committee.
Jim, if you could give us just a quick recap of our finance meeting, please.
Committee reviewed the OCFC financials for June, July, beginning of August. Recommended approval by the full board, which approval included the CDs and the credit card info that we have now reviewed.
Great.
Motion for that?
Well, that was just a report. We'll get into new business and we'll take a motion on the
It was
approval.
only a matter of time. Okay. So thank you, Jim, for your report. And under new business, looking for a motion to accept the financials from June and July that the audit committee just met, and they have recommended approval to bring to the full board. Does everybody have a chance to look at that? And looking for a motion.
A motion that we approve the financials as presented.
Thank you, Sue. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Giovanni. And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. You. And then again, approval for the June, July, and August payables. Again, it was reviewed in the Finance Committee and recommended to bring to the full board. If you want to take a second to take a look at it, if you haven't yet, I'm looking for a motion for that.
Why do I not have a table list?
I don't think the work able.
Okay. I'm looking, I'm like, there's no payable list in here.
I probably should have mentioned that.
Yes, so no payables, really nothing to do with the CD. The only other thing that I would have mentioned is, we made just under 19,000 in interest on the CDs.
That's on the P&L now.
Yes, that's on the P&L. And so I don't know if you're also trying to do the proof, but the small business loan report is in there.
Right, that I saw.
And it's squeezed up a little bit, but there were no payments.
So nothing due, so
So there you go.
we can approve it.
Okay. Thank you, Sue. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Giovanni. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
And the COVID resiliency loan fund update is in there as well. We need a motion for that, Doug?
I think we should just
Okay.
accept it.
I'll make a motion to accept that, report as the committee also recommends to the full board. Second,
I'll second that.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That's OCFC.
And unless anybody has anything, just for a motion to adjourn the OCFC meeting. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second your motion.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I will open up the IDA meeting for August 16th, Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, at 5:40 p.m. at the Goshen Government Center. Meeting's called to order. Roll call. Bill, again, I guess.
Dean Tamburri,
Present.
James Rinaldi,
Present.
Mark Green,
Here.
Vincent Odock,
Present.
Susan Walsky,
Here.
Giovanni Palladino,
Here.
all members present.
Thank you again. Proof of notice is attached. It was duly and properly provided. We also have the minutes. We're asked for a motion to approve the minutes of June 21st, 2023 of the Board of Directors meeting.
I move for the motion to approve the minutes of June 21st.
Thank you, Dr. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed
Very good.
unanimously. And reports, the CEO report, Bill?
Do you mind if we maybe move my section down to after our guests?
That's a great idea. So we'll go to new business, and we'll start with Royal Wines.
Good evening, everyone. In your agenda is the final resolution with respect to Royal Wine. As you may recall, this project came before you last year. It was a multi-phase project, the initial phase of which you authorized, which was the construction of the shell of the building, which is located at 2500 State Route 17M in Goshen. It was just under a 630,000 square foot building. At the time of the original application, it was made evident to the board that this was multi-phased. The second phase was going to follow, which was going to be the tenant build-out on the inside, and that is what is before you this evening. I will note for the record that seeker was previously done by the board as part of phase one. The entirety of the project was reviewed under seeker, and so that is not an issue that is before you this evening. A public hearing was duly noticed and held on this project on July 17th. The transcript from the public hearing was previously provided to all of the board members, and it is included in the agenda this evening. It outlines all of the comments that were received at the public hearing. This project will create 50 full-time new jobs and 10 new part-time jobs. Those are in addition to the construction jobs that are being created as a result of this application. The company has advised you that they are consolidating their operations and that they were originally choosing between New York and New Jersey to do that. When the board approved the project last year, they obviously elected to come here to New York and to Orange County, which is wonderful. They are seeking state and local sales and use tax in an amount not to exceed $1,137,500. They are looking to have you appoint them as your agent for purposes of completing phase two of the project and utilizing the sales and use tax. And the resolution authorizes the execution and delivery of all leasehold documents which are required to confer this benefit upon the company. Other details are presented as outlined in the resolution. So unless anyone has any questions, that is what is before you this evening. Motion to approve the final resolution.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, comments? Okay. The only thing I should know, we knew the phase two, we were gonna have a phase two. without the phase two, we knew they were coming, they're here. I think this is a no-brainer to approve the second phase of the project. It's,
Yeah, I mean, I follow this project quite closely because it is a massive project. I am 100% in favor of it, and I have no problem putting a motion before this board to accept this resolution as
Thank you.
given.
Thank you, Sue. Is there a second?
It's,
Thank you, Dr. Orak. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry.
Did I?
Yes.
No.
I thought you were, I apologize.
Do we need to roll call that one, or?
It was unanimous, but we can say any opposition to the motion? Any discussion? Motion is carried unanimously.
I'll do that next time.
We'll give you another chance.
Well, there's going to be a lot more than that too, so there'll be some more.
And we do have Mr. Sheldon Ginsburg and Jonathan Gross on with Royal Wine. Just want to thank them for joining us and wish them all the best with the project. We can see the steel is already up. Things are really moving along now, so good to see. We're looking forward to the grand opening.
And just so you know also, my office will be in touch with respect to the documents that need to be executed in connection with phase two.
Very good. I thank you all very much, and I appreciate your continued support. We look forward to completing the project and moving to Goshen.
Very good. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Jonathan. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, thank you, everyone. And then we're the new business. We'll move on to the OC Hospitality LLC.
Yes, the next item in your agenda this evening is a final resolution with respect to the application received by OC Hospitality LLC. They are seeking to undertake a project that consists of approximately 4.6 acres of vacant land on 21 Mint Park Road in Wallkill. They're looking to construct a 101-room hotel, which will be approximately 58,000 square feet and 4 stories. This project was before you to authorize a public hearing. The public hearing was duly noticed and held on July 19th. Previously provided to the board was the full transcript from that hearing, and it is also included in your agenda this evening. Outlined in there, you can see all of the comments, including that of Stephen Gross. Stephen is the Executive Director of Economic Development for the Office of Economic Development for the County of Orange. In addition to his comments at the public hearing, he also submitted correspondence in favor of this project, which you can find at Exhibit C to your resolution. Mr. Gross has indicated that as a result of a study that has been undertaken by the county, the need for additional hotel rooms to spur and support tourism is paramount. And as you will see in the resolution, we are seeking a declaration by this board that this project does constitute a tourism destination for the reasons set forth in the transcript and the correspondence from Mr. Gross. The project will create 20 full-time employees. The town of Wallkill previously approved this project and undertook seeker. It was determined to be a type 1. They did a coordinated review and issued a negative declaration, finding that it will not have a significant environmental impact, and we are adopting that finding. They are not seeking a pilot. The only benefits, there are 2 benefits being sought under this application: state and local sales and use tax and mortgage recording tax. The state and local sales and use tax is in an amount not to exceed $625,625, and a mortgage recording tax in the approximate amount of $82,500. The resolution seeks authority to finalize the project, to grant those financial incentives, to appoint the company as your agent for purposes of undertaking the project and benefiting from those financial incentives, and authorizing the execution and delivery of all these documents.
Any questions, comments for the final resolution?
I think the money that we will bring in the hotel taxes for the rooms will far outweigh
Yes.
the benefits that we are giving.
Yes, we saw that analysis as well, so we
Yeah.
point that out. And again, you know, the fact that Steve Gross, Economic Development, has made that statement regarding the need for these hotels for the tourism, I think it's what we should really be doing, and I ask for a motion for the final approval for this project. Made a motion.
I'll make a
I seconded.
motion.
I'm sorry, Dr. Odock?
Did you make a motion? All right, sorry.
And we have to go for a roll call.
Who
We have
seconded,
second.
I'm sorry.
Dr. Odock, I apologize.
Sue moved, Dr. Odock seconded.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So sorry.
No, I'm sorry. And then we'll individually ask for a roll call.
I can do that. Tabor,
Yes.
Rinaldi,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Odock,
Yes.
Walsky,
Yes,
Palladino.
Yes.
6 ayes. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
I have Mr. Chet Patel from OC Hospitality on. Chet, thank you. We look forward to supporting your project. Keep us posted on your progress, please.
Yeah, will do. Thank you. I really appreciate your consideration and the positive feedback.
Absolutely. All the best to you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Too.
We'll back up to reports.
Sure. Let me start with my report. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we have acquisitions marketing doing our AV going forward. I do want to thank 88 Studios. We actually are still doing some work with them. They're helping us maintain our current website. They are in consideration to revamp our website when the time comes. But they were terrific. They were very, very diligent. I just think we're going to get kind of a different level of service here because this is what their specialty is at acquisitions, one of theirs. So we have 3 camera angles and just really it's about all in the air of greater transparency with the public. We want to make sure they can hear every single word, see everyone, and I think this is a production value that really is appropriate. So I want to thank and welcome Jose, and again thank 88. Want to also let you know that we did complete our Paris reporting. As always happens, we get some questions back, digging a little further from the Office of the State Comptrollers. We always respond very quickly. I'll mention that we still use Julie Marshall from Harris Beach as our Paris reporting expert. She does a terrific job. She's really excellent, very, very responsive. We also had to do some reporting for JPOP, which it's got a different name now, but whenever an agency is involved in some lobbying activity, as we were over the monitor issue, there's reporting that's required. We submitted that as well. We did, of course, Delaware Engineering presented the results of the phase 1 of the shovel-ready analysis, which is pretty comprehensive. A number of you have looked at that information. Jim, thanks for coming to the office. I'm trying to really safeguard it, so I'm asking most people to come to the office and look at it. So Jim spent a couple hours. We appreciate that. We assembled a very small, I'll call it task force, to look through that data and to ultimately decide if we can identify a property or two that the IDA could consider obtaining site control for, either through an option or actually taking ownership, and then considering investments in that. Again, the idea is to help bring about higher yield projects in the tech sector, advancement in manufacturing, chip manufacturers we're seeing being reshored to New York State right now, mostly upstate. We want to bring that down here. So it's going to enable us to do that. We did pull that task force together. It was a perfect storm last week when we were supposed to meet, and most members weren't able to make it, so we did postpone it. But I did have a meeting with Central Hudson Utilities yesterday, and I had one lined up with O&R, where we talked about this project, what our intention is, and it was a tremendous meeting. They had a full team there, and we talked about how we can work together. Really, basically, they said anything is possible in terms of power augmentation. It's just time and money. So we're going to communicate. We're going to work very closely on this, and when we identify our sites, there would be strategic locations next to infrastructure. The power company's ready to partner with us to really help get the kilowatts we need for some of the projects we're looking to attract. So I'm really excited about it. The results were great of that project. Again, these meetings, subsequent meetings we're having are very hopeful, and I know a number of the members that are participating in that are really excited about it as well. Just a couple updates. I mentioned Royal Wine because they were just on. Steel is being erected there. That site, the construction is really moving along well. Our local labor monitors had been on site, working very, very closely with the folks at Royal and the industrial developer GFI. But great progress there. Green Thumb Industries, I mentioned this at the Finance Committee meeting. They're the cannabis manufacturer and processor that we attracted to the Warwick Tech Park. They just completed construction of their 450,000 square foot growing and processing center, tremendous. They are going to do a ribbon cutting, which I'm certainly going to invite you to, and we asked if we could find a way to do some sort of tours, so if you're interested, I'd love to have you come check it out. As I said in our previous meeting, Even though people have their personal opinions about marijuana, absolutely understand that, but from a business perspective, it is here to stay. New York is in the game for sure, and we've really doubled down on this sector, trying to attract it here with the investment that this IDA made in the Warwick Tech Park. This GTI opening is really kind of the icing on the cake for that. It's the kind of project we want to bring, and most importantly, the jobs we want to bring. Because it's life sciences, R&D, in an emerging sector like this, there are a number of six-figure jobs that GTI is providing, and that's exactly what we want to do. Bigger and better jobs, higher paying jobs in sectors that are sustainable. So we're really excited about the GTI completion of the project, and again, look forward to ribbon cutting and a chance for you to tour that as well. Just a couple other things. We are in the process of shredding some files. I just want to be very clear and transparent in this. We went to Sue for that guidance simply because, as you know, we've consolidated our office a little bit, and we just had files going back 15, 20 years. And Sue really guided us that anything that's over 10 years, that it's okay to destroy. Some of this is sensitive, even though most of our information is public. Some of it's sensitive, so we are shredding it. We're using a service to shred that. But again, everything is any of those records are available if somebody asks about those projects, and it's only because it's really aged. In no way do we want to eliminate anything, but we have to move through some of these things because again, it's really older files. So I wanted to just let you know that was happening. And we had made some changes to our insurance coverage, mostly because of the downsizing and the dismantling of the accelerated program. So you see our premiums. We've been working with our insurance broker, William A. Smith Insurance, in order to kind of right-size our coverages. So I want to notify you of that as well. That's it for unless anyone has any questions. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm wondering, all the information hard copies, not in digital, I mean, like, with the technology.
Anything that we need to keep, we do. We have digital copies of that. We really have a pretty robust server, a Dropbox service, kind of a cloud-based server, and we have all of our relevant records that are in there. But really, we just have a lot of paper, hard copies of old files that really can go. And again, we work very closely with Sue for her guidance to make sure we do everything appropriately, and that she and everyone is well aware of that. It's just a matter of, we got to get through some of these filing cabinets of paper.
You had a whole room stuffed with it.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody doesn't shred.
Yes.
After
Peter just have to.
I apologize if I missed this. How far back are you going?
Anything older than 10 years.
Anything over 10 years.
Right.
And then is your thought process to kind of do that on a rolling basis?
And I just want to clarify, anything older than 10 years, that is not an ongoing project. So if you had a project that had a 20-year pilot and we're in year 10, we're not shredding that.
I figured that. I
All
figured
right,
you weren't just
my
looking. I
job-
figured you weren't, getting, 5 gallons of gas and over that.
Right, yeah.
But you're right, maybe every year or every 2 years, depending on our needs.
A rolling basis.
Kind of, because, all right, thank you.
Exactly.
Any other questions, comments? If not, we'll go to the committee reports. Jim for the Finance Committee.
We reviewed the OCIDA financial for part of June, all of July, early part of August. Recommend approval, full board, which includes our review of CD and credit card policy.
Thank you. Now we'll move down, jump back into the new business. So we did the final resolutions, and we'll go down to ask for acceptance of the June and July 2023 financials. Again, the Finance Committee reviewed them, and asking for a recommendation to the full board to approve it as they did earlier this evening. Anybody wants to take a look? Do you have any
I was
questions?
going to say, maybe questions before we just.
Yes. And just so you know, our RBT was here as well. She went through it as well with us.
What is EA workforce staff line? for
That's our payroll. We
Okay.
use, the payroll company is Ethan Allen Staffing.
Okay.
Anything else, anybody have anything else you want to do? No, May, so, whatever you choose.
Well, some of these go back to May. You have June, July, but there are May bills in here.
In paid, or in
Paid in.
the financial statement?
Pardon?
Paid in June, but they're paid in
July. Oh, I see the way,
right, so it might have been in May.
yeah, all right, I just want to make sure
That's okay,
that,
no, I asked, I don't know how to.
that it's not a double or anything.
Well, first of all, absolutely you should ask. Second of all, I think, because we didn't meet
In July.
in July, so now it's.
Right, I'm just following,
Yeah,
like I said, trying to match up
That's
this
fine.
to this.
That's fine. And also then, if we do have, where we didn't have our meeting in July, if if all the members, or if you want to come in on the finance, obviously you come in.
Right, no, again, I just want to make sure that
No,
it's not doubles.
Absolutely, I'd rather everybody ask.
So that was my only concern.
Okay. So then I'll make a motion to accept the financials for June and July and the payables for June, July, and August as recommended by the finance. Anyone wants to second that? Or if there's any other questions?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
So I'll just pass unanimously. Thank you. And then we have our item for this certificate of deposit investment. We're taking the finance committee again recommendation. There was 1.7 million in the checking. Discussed with our CEO that 733,000 should be sufficient for the end of the year. And we should capitalize on the interest rates for a 6-month CD with the finance committee having them in a three-month rolling process.
Right.
So if we needed money, another one would come due, and it will be invested in one of the highest rates they can, also with the caveat that it will not be with TD Bank, so we have our portfolio a little bit more diversified.
So we're talking, as Dean said, about 1.7 in the checking account for IDA, taking $1 million of that, putting it in 6 months, right? We said.
If you go to page 32, I think that'll jump out.
Yes, yeah, we should do that, that's a good idea, Mark.
Thank you.
Good point, thank you.
There were several things going on in here.
Yeah.
So if I may, if you go to page 32, that's as of July. There's another page in there, but that was as of June, so this one is the most recent, which is why I directed you to this one.
Thank you.
So real quick, we have, if you look at our CDs at the top one doesn't mature until September 25th.
Right.
So we'll have a discussion next month.
Right.
We'll go through the process of where we should roll that over to. The other one is 6 months, that comes due in December 27th, which is important in a couple of seconds. The next one comes due in February, so again, you notice the staggering.
Right,
And then the final one is a residual one that doesn't come due until May of
and
next year.
that's,
That's the one that it was gonna cost us more to break it than to.
we're gonna combine it once it,
Exactly. So if you now look down at the Chase account, it's 1,733,731. As Dean said, we asked Bill, because really we just need to worry about the next 3 months because we have a CD coming due in December 27th. So we only would, worst case scenario. So we asked Bill and he thought $733,000 would be more than enough for the next 3 months of operation.
90 days.
Even if something came up with shovel ready or what have you.
well, we have applications that we're hoping to get in, so that will,
That will add to that. So So we decided, the finance decided to take $1 million out and gave Bill authorization to make some final calls tomorrow to get the highest 6-month rate, because if we do it this week, that'll come due in March. And again, now we're on it every 3 months. We've got, so
Access to-
we're never going to be exposed to a situation where we
For
won't
sure.
have access to our money for more than 3 months. So did that make all sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Beautiful.
It's easier when it's broken out that way.
And also that we're getting into, obviously, we should probably, we did it for, highlight our interest earnings, as well, for the month. Cost $110,000. So,
Because
very
one
significant.
CD came through, that was 110,000. So we're on track for, we're,
And why not take advantage of what we have in the channel?
exactly.
No, I agree. We need to, it's our responsibility to the taxpayers to capitalize what we can for income for this, so we can reinvest it in the county.
Well, that and also, I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about it now, but at some point, we discussed this previously as far as kind of straightening out healthcare, straightening out retirement.
Yeah.
And this might allow us to clean some of those legacy things up that have been ignored for the last 5, 6, 7 years by the previous board. So, but that's.
Well, we'll look capital for the shovel-ready program as well.
Absolutely.
So,
with that, that's the motion.
I feel guilty because it seems like you looked at me, but I feel,
No,
here's the deal. I feel like since we're on the finance
I
committee,
agree.
I don't think we should do that because we already have, exactly.
Okay.
That's why I don't do it when it comes to finance, because I feel like
I just thought,
it just doesn't feel like that.
that's fine, but that's fine, but I'm looking because I don't want to miss somebody in that, earlier, I thought you like, so I didn't want to miss you, so I'd rather we do this.
You're the
than
first
I
person to
miss-
miss me.
than I miss something.
Miss
so.
figuratively and literally, you'd be the first person to miss me.
All right.
someone make a motion to
Thank you.
approve it.
I'll second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
3 to 6 months.
Getting there.
And the credit card policy, which again was approved.
Yeah, so recommended by the Finance Committee. Just really quickly, we had our, of course, annual audit performed by PKF O'Connor Davies a few months ago. And you'll recall in their presentation, really one of the only comments or recommendations was that we should have a standalone credit card policy. So we went back to them and said, do you have some examples that we could look at? They gave us 3 examples. Sue looked at them. Shannon Macy did as well. Frankly, we went with a simpler one. It really didn't need to be overly complex. Again, we did discuss this in Finance Committee. The only feedback was, you see kind of halfway down, all purchases are subject to purchase order guidelines for purchases over $1,000. It was asked, is that overly onerous? Does it kind of tie our hands? Just in the era of transparency and us trying to be obviously very strict and stringent about our finances, I'm fine with $1,000 if it becomes a problem, because it's just developing a purchase order. It's not that
It can always
complicated.
be amended.
Exactly, that's exactly how we said it. So as written is what we're asking you to approve.
So does anyone who wasn't on?
I'll make a motion.
Still give me steak guy.
Second.
Second. Was there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Sue. All in favor?
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you.
And Mr. Acting Chairman, if I could, one last item that is not on the agenda, just timing wise, it's something I wanted to bring to the board now. We talked about it in Finance Committee and again had support from the committee on that. Going back to the Warwick Tech Park, again, that was the former prison. We made the investment. We attracted a number of companies, including trying to really kind of double down in the cannabis sector. As I mentioned, I can't remember what's blending with the last meeting, but the focus again was on the jobs we talked about. We also have worked closely, I know I have in my years in economic development, with venture capitalists and angel network groups. in the area. Orange County doesn't have its own. We've had, some focus in the Mid-Hudson. Upstate Capital is a group that works the whole Hudson Valley from here to Albany. Noah Simons is a really well respected. Yeah, I do have their annual report here. I've got a couple of pages about them. They are partnering with a Hudson Valley Venture Hub, which is now just created at SUNY New Paltz, focusing on being that kind of hub for small startups, accelerating businesses and such. Not a business we want to be in directly, of course. But they're putting on a summit really focused on the cannabis industry, focused on highlighting the Warwick Tech Park and the work that was done there. Did any of you gentlemen have your copies that I can let a couple people look at? Maybe we have some.
I think Marty stole mine.
Did you steal one, Marty?
Marty.
One of the major threads or themes of the day-long summit is going to be around what we've done in Warwick, and again with GTI opening there, they're highlighted. Rebecca Brown, who's appeared in front of this board a number of times, VP of Government Strategy at GTI, she's going to be one of the speakers. And I'm going to be moderating the panel about the Warwick Tech Park and the evolution there. And they've asked us to be one of the host sponsors, the premier sponsors. And I don't take any expenditure like this lightly. It's the first time I've ever come to you for it, but I think it really will underscore the work that we've done there, and it will help foster, I think, the importance of, again, angel networks, venture capitalists and such. It's important to help support our startups, our growing, accelerating companies. We need that here, and I'm a big believer in a regional approach to that. So this is a group that, again, handles the entire region. So I'm asking if you would support $5,000 sponsorship of this, where we actually would be a major sponsor here. We'll be speaking at the event. We're going to be highlighted. There are event passes. I certainly encourage you to come if you can do that. September 20th, 11 to 5 at the Tech Park, mostly based at Urban Extracts, which is kind of one of the visually one of the highlights there. It's the former dairy barn that some of our funding helped refer that into a CBD extraction facility. It's explosion proof. It's a really impressive building with a nice meeting space on top. So again, it's unusual. I don't ask for this lightly, but I do look for your support in us sponsoring this. And again, it was recommended, I would say, by the Finance Committee after much discussion.
Yes, we had, obviously we were going to, if we should we be doing this, do we agree with the candidates? But in all, we recommended it to the full board and we approved it.
So, I'm thinking also outside the world of cannabis, where natural healthcare products is a huge growing industry.
Mm-hmm.
We have good soil here in the OC
Mm-hmm.
for growing, different biologicals that can be used in the medical field besides cannabis. So I think if something like this can spotlight our farming opportunities for these kind of things, it puts it into a different realm. So I would be in favor for it.
That's a great point, because it's not just the large facility-based grow operations like you're seeing at GTI, where again it's almost 500,000 square foot. A lot of our farmers, people are getting cultivation licenses, and they're either the farmers are doing it themselves, or people that are entrepreneurs in this space are renting acreage from our local farmers. So it goes beyond these major facilities that we're talking about, like GTI and Sativa. You're seeing it all around.
Well, I'm just saying, growing is going beyond, the pharmaceutical industry in itself is going into growing different herpetologies for medical purposes besides cannabis. So if we can highlight our fertile fields here for growing other things other than crops, it will attract other like businesses.
Right.
With what she's talking about, it's a great topic, but I used to do the work for Farm Credit, and they were in Orange, Sullivan, Ulster County.
Mm-hmm.
And do we have any contact with them? Because they do lend.
We do,
to the
actually.
government.
Yeah, we do, because we're involved through the Vision Hudson Valley. They have an agricultural tour. I haven't sent that to you yet, I think, but I plan to. I think I have an email being composed where they do an ag tour. Farm Credit's usually part of that. I've also participated in some committees through Vision Hudson Valley where they're at the table. So they're still a big part
For now, Farm Credit, when I used to do the work for them, it was compared to this small amounts, you know, $1 million to $3 million, you know, to buy equipment and run stuff, especially up in Ulster County. I mean, the dairy part's kind of just dying off, but the other part's there, and Pine Island is starting to grow again. You know, it's just strictly, you know, onions, but now a lot of Asians are buying the smaller farms there. They're growing Asian products for the city, and now the big thing that's going on is the you know, farm markets where people, because it has to be here, you know, local farm,
Right.
so they're buying plots there, you know, 10 acres, 20 acres, and producing stuff, but they're all segregated. There's no compact union of them to help them do their stuff. So.
Well, agritourism is a big
Sure
industry.
is.
Mhm.
Sure is.
So I believe it's Sue.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the $5,000 for the Orange County IDA to be a premier sponsor for the Seed to Market Summit.
Thank you, Sue.
Did I get that right, Sue?
You did.
I'll second.
Mark, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 6 ayes, 6
6
ayes. There we are.
Okay. Anything?
We got nothing else for you.
Nothing else? Anyone? Anything else?
Do we have executive session? You have one?
You can.
Quick update?
Yep,
Can we do that?
it'll be a
Okay.
very quick update.
Great.
But we,
Excellent.
in order to provide it, I would need a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing litigation.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, excellent.
Second, Dr. Odoff, all in favor?
Aye.
Welcome back, everyone. We're at an executive session and ask for a motion to adjourn the IDA meeting.
Actually, before we do that, real quick, just because you said something and it sparked my thought process, I know it's, you know, yes, but I will say that the previous 18 months, there's been a lot of heavy lifting that's had to occur.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, I don't think
No.
that we should be taking credit for all the stuff that took hours and hours and hours of time to go through. But with that said, what I would like to bring up again is, you know, this is my 1-year anniversary since I've been on this board, and you know, I feel like the last, particularly 9 months, we've just constantly been playing defense. You know, when I was reading through this stuff before coming in, you know, yesterday, and I saw that letter from
Steve Gross.
Steve Gross.
you know, it brought up a memory from a year ago when, you know, before I was even appointed, when Bill and I sat down, talking about vision, where we're going, what we're doing, and, you know, it kind of occurred to me that, you know, we just have been constantly playing either defense or continuing to clean up, right? The fact why you're here tonight. And I really would like us to start thinking about and coming up with a plan for next year to really assess what is the vision, what are we trying to do, where are we going, as far as, you know, what type of industries are we looking to attract, what type of businesses, be it, you know, during the day today, someone said housing, you know, a little bit of a pet peeve for me is hotels. But there are a lot of things that I think as a group, we each individually have to start thinking, where do we want to go for the next, you know, 2 to 4 years, and then come together as a group and really discuss that and start really coming up with kind of an outline to revamp our, I forgot what they're called.
Uniform tax, I was gonna say, that ties right into our UTEP review,
You know.
which we were supposed to do a couple of months ago. We're waiting for the monitor, because the monitor can weigh in
Yeah,
on
that's
this
the
as well.
government's committee that has to do that.
Yeah, we have
But-
to change, yeah, we have to bring to the towns,
Right.
correct?
You just have to notice them.
Bill,
They have an
yeah.
opportunity to come to your public hearing about it.
That's it.
But that's the challenge that I say as we go into the fall, that we need to start, you know, instead of just kind of being reactive, let's try to be a little more proactive.
But we have to redo that UTEP, and that's where that will
Absolutely,
come
and the
from.
first part though is that we all kind of think, you know, because your vision might be a little different than mine, and different,
Definitely, that's
And-
why
and-
it's 6 months.
and that's, with that, you know, will be us trying to come together to figure out what is the best path to bring union jobs, non-union jobs, white collar, blue collar, opportunities, college, not college, whatever the case may be. But that is something that I would challenge all of us to really kind of think about it and to really say that 2024 is going to be when we really start diving into that.
And thanks, Mark. You just also maybe people online that you're discussing the time frames of the meetings, et cetera, and that there was a lot of heavy lifting prior. But maybe it's kind of nice that we're not here all night, that we have done that, and I think we've done a great job, and everybody should be commended and continually putting their time in playing defense, and we'd like to not do that as often. So with that, unless anybody else has anything, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Voda and Giovanni. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all.